Hello, this is Deborah Yao with Black Education TV. I'm going to be talking about implications today. I want you all to understand that an implication is just as bad as an accusation, and I'm going to prove that to you. An implication is just as bad as an accusation. The thing is, when a person implies something, they can always come back and say, well, I never said that. But I'm going to show you how crafty that is and how that is a form of witchcraft that people are using today to try to skirt around things that they are implying about others. Now, if you believe something about a person or a situation, just hold to your belief. If that's what you believe, just own that. Own it, okay? But if you are simply trying to imply something that is not true about a person just so that you can shape the thoughts of another person, you are using a form of witchcraft that is very subtle and that most people would never even catch on to. And so many people are affected by that form of witchcraft because they don't even realize what's happening to them. You see a lot of that in the Christian church, okay? Where the pastor or the bishop or whatever forms his words just right to get the congregation to respond in a certain way. Okay? Now, I'm going to go ahead and elaborate on what I mean when I say an implication is just as bad as an accusation. If you say to me that, oh, if I were you, I would watch my children around him. Now, technically, you haven't said that he's a pedophile. You haven't said that he's a rapist. You haven't said any of that, right? But your implication is that you better watch your children around him. So anyone who hears that, what is going to happen? Anyone who hears that is automatically going to assume that because they heard you say, oh, you better watch your children around him, they're going to assume that this man is a pedophile or that this man is a rapist or a kidnapper or something like that. They're going to assume the worst because you have implied something by saying you better watch your children around him. I'll give you another one. Very easy, very simplistic. Oh, you better watch your purse around her. Did you just call me a thief? No, you didn't. You didn't just call me a thief. But you implied it, and therefore anyone who hears that is going to think that they need to watch their purse or their belongings around me because it has been implied that I am a thief. Do you all catch my drift? You understand where I'm going with this? Those who practice witchcraft, whether knowingly or unknowingly, they use implications to shape the thoughts of others so that the words that they speak out into the air or the atmosphere around others will be taken a certain way to cause this person to react or respond in a certain way, or to cause these people or this group to respond in a certain way, because they already knew that all I have to do is say this and I'm going to get this reaction from anyone who hears me. That is very, very crafty. Very, very crafty. Very manipulative. And that is unfortunately what a lot of people do to cause you to do a certain thing or to go in the way they want you to go. You'll have, I've heard this testimony so many times that you'll have a family member who may be gay or lesbian. And they will imply to you that they may be suicidal or something if people don't accept their lifestyle. And because the family member doesn't want that on their conscience, doesn't want to be held responsible for such an act, they will agree with that lifestyle, even allow them to come around them in their circle, in their family, fellowship, all of this. When the Bible tells you to clearly avoid those type of people who want to live lawless, right? But if you imply to someone who loves you that you're going to kill yourself, or that you may not want to live, I don't think I can live, they're implying that they're going to kill themselves. They may not say, I'm going to kill myself, right? They may not say that, but the implication is that I don't want to live if people don't accept my lifestyle. So you see what's going on is there's this mass manipulation going on and on every hand. Now, we were talking not long ago, and we all came to the agreement that everyone uses manipulation in some form or another. Okay, parents use it to get children to eat vegetables. Okay, so not all manipulation is bad manipulation. I need to clarify that. I can remember watching Popeye when I was a kid, and because I saw him picking it up with his hands and taking it out of the can and dropping it in his mouth, I used to eat my spinach like that, and that may have that may have something to do with why I really love spinach, because of how I perceived it in this cartoon. I do believe it had a lot to do with it. That wasn't bad manipulation. So that's what I mean when I say I'm going to clarify that everyone uses some form of manipulation. Parents will say, look, if you eat your vegetables, I'll give you a cookie afterward. Or you'll get dessert if you eat all of your dinner. So they're essentially trying to control that child's actions by promising them something that they like in exchange for eating their dinner, or in exchange for good behavior, you'll be able to go to your grandma's house. So not all manipulation is bad when you look at it in those terms. Okay, I'm talking about the good stuff. I ain't talking about trying to sway someone to help you break into your neighbor's house because of ABC. Okay, I'm not talking about that kind of nonsense. But I wanted to really focus on implications and how people use implications to manipulate the minds of others against others by implying things that are not true. And then they will later say, I never said that. I never said that. So, again, you have to be very wise in this day and time because so many things are happening, so many forms of manipulation, so many forms of control and trickery and deceit. And so you have to gird up your loins and be ready to fight this battle and be ready to understand what you see happening around you. Be ready to decipher the spirits of people, to be ready to decipher your own spirits, making sure that everything that you do is in the spirit of righteousness, and that what you are doing cannot be construed as unrighteous. Now, I got to separate something right there too. The scripture says, woe unto them that call good evil and evil good, because we do realize that in this day and time, there are deeds that people are doing that are unrighteous, but are being deemed righteous. Okay? And there are deeds that people are doing that are considered righteous, being called bad, evil deeds. And so there's so much to consider here. I think I'm going to go ahead and cut this video short now. I wanted to talk longer, but I'm going to go ahead and end it. I just wanted you to understand that implications can be just as bad as accusations. Okay? You may want to you want to try to say that they are I didn't say that or I didn't mean that, but when you imply something about another person, when you imply something, you are essentially accusing them of something. Okay? So be careful with that, family. Don't try to imply something if you are not prepared to own up to what you're implying. If you're not prepared to go to that person and accuse them of something. If you're not prepared to say, look, you are a thief, then don't imply that they are. Okay? And with that, I will say, shalom, family.